Somebody help!
Hey, easy on the door, dude. You're gonna break something.
I know.
Listen, I'm not saying I'll press charges. I don't like to be that guy. But vandalism is no joke.
You kidnapped me!
Oh, so not two wrongs make a right. That's what your mom taught you?
Help!
Vandalism!
It's a misdemeanor!
You don't know how expensive that door is.
The floor's so cold here. Why'd you take my socks?
This video is sponsored by Bombas.
What?
Got a pep in my step, there's something new about me. No matter where I step, the ground's feeling cloudy. Comfort so good, it'll knock your socks off. To make you rush to pick them up and pop them back on. I'm back on my two soles, you can give the crew those. Bossing for myself, man, he's feeling like new toes. Built-in arch support, got it covered like a Budo. You can let the dogs out, I'ma keep it cool, Joe. And Bombas doesn't stop at just that. Every pair bought, they give back. Over 140 mil items donated across the map. 100% happiness, they guarantee that. Free returns, exchanges, new holiday drops crazy. Woolen cashmere by the fireplaces. Fuzzy socks and the slippers feel amazing. Like new customers get 20% off their first purchase. Just go to bombas.com/MrGG and use code MrGG at checkout. And thank you, Bombas, for sponsoring this video.
I went to the theater and watched Absolution starring Liam Neeson. Then I went back to watch Heretic to forget about that. Firstly, I really like this movie, and I would love to yap about it. If you're planning on watching this film or on the fence, I say watch it before you watch this. Avoid the trailer if you can. Now, if you already watched it, we're book clubbing this shit. I want to know what I missed and if you missed something that I didn't miss.
This motherfucker don't miss.
So true, Snoop. Okay, and if you just literally don't care, will never watch this movie, or just refuse to click off, so be it, you stubborn little petal. I won't guide you through the film like I do with others, but you'll get the gist, I suppose. Spoilers ahead. Heretic. Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton pull up to Mr. Reed's neighborhood to teach him about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Mormonism. It exists. I've been to Utah, check me out. But of course we learn that Mr. Reed isn't itching to talk about pamphlets. Mr. Reed already knows all about Mormons and much more. Breathes Mormon, speaks Mormon.
Jack talk Thai very well.
And from there, the game begins. And speaking of the game, I've noticed that idea has affected some people's watches, because besides the trailer being a tad spoilery, I think some people were expecting a different movie because of the trailer. It kind of comes off like this escape room maze thriller manufactured by the guy from Paddington 2. But that's really not a huge part of the film. It's a bit of a yap sesh in like 3 rooms total. By the way, Hugh Grant does a phenomenal job in this movie. He's a fucking creep. If he was coming off the next bus, it'd say theologian, handyman, and fluent in scaring the hoes. But Hugh's also got that comedic kick in him, so a lot of his evil ass dad jokes landed pretty well with me. Dad approved. I also kept reading that Hugh was a big rom-com guy, so seeing him not only take this role, but do such a great job with it was kind of crazy. But I'll be so honest, I've never seen any of these movies. And I love rom-coms. That run might have just been a bit before my time. I mean, I guess I could watch one for the review. I like Sandra Bullock. What is this one? 2 weeks notice, sure.
Wade, Trump, I hear Kelson finally dumped you.
This guy's fucking everywhere. What the fuck? What's with the big stupid tie? Jack talk Thai very well. So Mr. Reed almost immediately begins to challenge their beliefs. To challenge what they came here to try and sell him. He kind of wants to strong arm you by making you believe what he wants you to believe, to question yourself, negate your faith. I can prove how easy it is to actually make you believe anything, the same way people already did to you. Bang! Atheist up, baby! Well, you know what I mean. And he starts small, telling them, yes, my bashful wife is in the other room. I hope you like pie, because her pie is to die for. Hey, oh! Someone dies eating pie later in the movie, that's why I said that. But he keeps teasing them too, like a jerk. Can you guess the flavor of pie she's making? Sister Paxton's dumbass.
Apple pie, pussy.
Not quite.
Was it blueberry pie?
That's the one that Bath & Body Works had on sale, dumbass. To the candle lovers of America, if there's a blueberry pie candle, are you really like, oh, so much cooking? Are we that far advanced in candle technology? I don't buy candles often. I'm curious on your thoughts. We can just end the movie now. Plot hole found. He then begins to talk about iterations of religion, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, comparing them to Monopoly, taking rather heavy inspiration from The Landlord's Game, which is an old game that looks a lot like Monopoly, and then Monopoly spin-offs. Also, Creep by Radiohead, taking rather heavy inspiration from the Hollies, but then turning around and accusing Lana Del Rey's Get Free of taking heavy inspo from them. In simpler terms, this whole religion thing is the Spider-Man meme. You look like me, and you sound like me, but you're not me. Mr. Reed even sings along to Creep and is self-aware enough to realize, I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. You know what? Topical. And I thought since he said that, there was even more to that. So I went to go listen to the Hollies song, The Air That I Breathe, which, side note, banger. And after conducting Fantano analysis, it's really a love song. But if you'll indulge my absolute rage for 2 seconds, tin hat on, tin hat foil on, tin foil hat. That signs Mel Gibson. The Hollies sued Radiohead out of court settlement. We'll call it a win. So Creep lost because of The Air That I Breathe. The creep who gets his throat stabbed later in the movie and couldn't breathe lost the battle. Radiohead tried to come at Lana Del Rey. According to Lana, it seems that was unsuccessful. So the creep ultimately couldn't stop those trying to get free. Still bringing it. I also think the line in Lana's song, I never really noticed that I had to decide to play someone's game or live my own life, just works really well here. But I'll wrangle my gigabrain in because I know this kind of stupid is out there and just not even really that polished. It's like when people heard the beginning of the Not Like Us music video, that little snippet, and said, dude, every word in the beginning is a song on Spotify. I think Kendrick is trying to tell us that Drake stole lyrics from all of these songs. And the comments said, I wouldn't put it past him. He's playing chess. Shut up. Is Kendrick clever? Yes. Is he this plagiarism jigsaw demigod? No. You fucking goofy goobers. I digress. The Butterfly. I do like the ending. A little ambiguity never hurt anybody, except for the people who don't really like ambiguity. What do you mean it's up for interpretation? You're telling me I paid all this money to write it for them? A butterfly lands on Sister Paxton's finger once she escapes after being stabbed in the stomach by Mr. Reed. Earlier, Sister Paxton mentioned how she would want to be reincarnated as a butterfly and to let those people she loves know that it's her. She would land on their finger and their finger only. And since Sister Barnes is dead, spoiler, after saving Sister Paxton, where were we? Did you witness a miracle? Was Sister Barnes telling you that she's still here with you? Or would you just really want to believe that, especially after all this? Because we see the butterfly, then we don't. And Sister Paxton even looks confused. In addition, it plays into the aforementioned hallucinations one might experience so close to death, because she's bleeding out still, and now she's in like 8 feet of snow outside. Sister Paxton could very much die as soon as the credits hit. Mr. Reed had also brought up the butterfly dream as well in the movie, which is a man waking up from a dream questioning, am I a man that dreamt I was a butterfly, or a butterfly that is dreaming he is a man? Which once again plays with your belief. You can 100% believe what you're feeling in that moment, even though it may be false. And that's why I want to rewind a bit to Sister Barnes, because she died, R.I.P. Mr. Reed gave her a paintbrush stroke with a box cutter, bow, and she kind of just bled out. And listen, you might want to leave that bit more open-ended, sure. I'm not here to fight, I like the way you think. But Mr. Reed then proceeds to slice open her arm to fiddle around her bicep for, some might say, too long. So a good pussy sound. He bobs for a contraceptive and there it is. And Sister Barnes then lies on the cold dungeon floor for at least 22 minutes of screen time, which I don't know how that translates to their world, but I counted 22 minutes. And at the end of our journey, as Mr. Reed takes in Sister Paxton's prayer as he slowly dies, he pulls back for a final blow to take her with him. And Sister Barnes comes out of nowhere and smokes him with a loose chunk of wood with nails in it. The fucking birds fly around, cuckoo, and then she dies. He died too. She died. She's dead. And we can look at this in two ways. Either the way we saw it, and we're picking up what they're putting down, a miracle, more or less, or that's a bunch of hooey, and everyone's actually dead. Maybe he struck her with that final blow. Maybe he didn't. Maybe they just both bled out and this is a hallucination, because how the fuck would Barnes be alive? Seems low probability. Maybe she's a prophet, who knows? But the theory that no one actually made it out and everyone died is kind of lame to me anyway, so I don't want to dig into it further. I do like seeing the fear creep into Mr. Reed as he realizes he is looking death in the eyes. Because whether you want to believe all of his yappings or not, it did seem that he very much feared death. The more you know, the less you know, as he said. He did so much research trying to find the perfect religion that he ended up arriving at the conclusion that these are just more or less the same story being repackaged. There is no true religion. It's all about control, but that's still frightening. And yet, when the Grim Reaper's got his scope on him, that's when he begs for prayer from Sister Paxton. Illustrating exactly what he was trying to criticize, it's easy to sell religion to somebody who has lost everything. So it's really powerful in that moment when Sister Paxton answers his desperation with the fact that prayer does nothing, referencing a prayer experiment where there were no conclusive evidence to support that prayer actually had any real effect. But she still does it though, because she finds it really nice that someone would do that for somebody else. Give them the time, dedicate their thoughts for a bit, just to hope somebody else does well. Or pulls through. Random thoughts. I had no clue why Mr. Reed had like a watering can when he initially opened the door for the sisters, because he wasn't like fucking gardening or anything, until I realized that that was the same watering can he was using to give water to the prophets in cages. I don't think that means anything, but a little nudge to us. Look, small details like his mug having the word hubby printed on it. What a cheeky guy. There's a quick flash of a poster of Dante's Inferno, I believe, which makes sense as Sister Paxton continues to go lower in Mr. Reed's home, trying to find an escape. Also, when the fella showed up to Mr. Reed's house looking for the girls, I looked at his face and I thought, Foreman? That you? And it is! Topher Grace is in the movie, in the flesh. Claps in chat. Hello, Wisconsin! You guys were there. And some questions to leave you with, but maybe I'll just answer out loud right now. Why did he kill Sister Barnes? As explained, one of his prophets threw a wrench in the operation trying to help the girls, and he had to improvise from there. But when he killed Sister Barnes, he didn't know that yet. So it seems like he killed her just to shut her up. She continuously challenged his ideas, and Sister Barnes used that as her defense against him. But then that makes it sound like a heat of passion kill. But since we know that Sister Paxton makes it to the final room with the bike lock that she was given the key to, meaning it was supposed to be just her at the end of it, why the fuck did he kill Sister Barnes? Was that just in the books? He took their coats as soon as they arrived. He could have swapped the key right then and there, because I think he did in the movie, but they also later pretended to take a call and he had some time to maybe swap the key then, because by that point he kind of, felt them out a little bit, smelled their vibe. And Barnes was much more cautious, on edge, and not as willing to play ball. Paxton would be easier to control. Did he make the decision there that Paxton will make it to the end and I'm gonna kill off Barnes? I don't know. Also, this is just what he does, right? Are all those caged women former missionaries? Does he kill one off with the pie eating contest miracle, then restock with whoever he's attempting to fool? The SpongeBob episode Dying for Pie can relate to this movie more than it should. I really want you to chew on that one for a bit. And even though you all know I'm a fan of The Exorcist, this is officially my new #1 favorite movie with the word heretic in it. So, The Exorcist 2 has moved down to #2. But then again, Mr. Reed could have probably invited the girls in, bent over, and farted in their face for 80 minutes, and it'd still be a contender. Hope you learned something, or hope you teach me a lot. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please subscribe. Shout out to my lovely patrons. They support me with everything I do, and they get a Patreon exclusive every single month. Gamer subs, code Mr. GG, 10% off. And as always, I am Mr. GG, and I am out.